Welcome to another episode of Neon Radio Podcast. I'm Reece.
And I'm Dan.
I'm pretending to be someone else. I'm Declan.
Ooh. This week, we're continuing on with our Marvel TV series, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We're reviewing episode 3. Spoiler warning. We will ruin some of the show's story arc, most of it.
All of it.
Yeah, all of it. We'll dive deep. So go out, watch the show, watch the episode, come back, and we'll break it down for you. Declan, I'm starting off with you this time.
Yeah.
What do you think of this episode?
Yeah, look, I quite liked it. I know old mate over there.
Oh, wow.
He's going to go the opposite. I don't really see how you could take real umbrage with this show. Like it's just a flighty spy show.
Yeah. I'll tell you my reasons.
Don't wait for him. Continue yours.
Do yours. But
that's how I feel about it.
That's it? I guess it is 50 minutes long. I mean, like, we don't have too much more than that.
It's 50 minutes. It's a spy show. It's got decent. It's got good chemistry between its two leads, and it's like expanding the Marvel universe after which it needs to do because, I mean, it went so high with the whole Infinity War saga. They need to start.
Need to pull it back a bit.
And I like the way that they're dealing with the whole aftermath of the snap and everything. And I think I feel like these last few episodes are going to have a heap of shit in them, right? Because there's so much stuff that's been set up now.
There's tons of stuff that's been set up. I've gone through.
It feels like it's super rushed, this show. But
I really disagree with that. I don't feel like that at all.
Yeah.
And I really like Daniel Bruhl in this episode too. I thought he was heaps of fun.
Fair enough. I think that's all we really need from it anyway. Yeah. Damn, man. Your thoughts?
when I was watching this, just the lines, like, do you know who I am? Or like, it's in every action movie. It's fucking so cheesy, man.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I just don't like it. This show is not connecting with me at all.
Oh, fair enough.
I don't know. It's just, to me, it feels, they touch on one cool story like the Isaiah thing.
Yeah.
And then I read up about that Dr. Wilfred Nagel. Is that his name?
Nagel, yeah.
And he had tie-ins with that. And I thought that was pretty cool. But then they get rid of him. And then you got...
but that's why Isaiah might play a more important part because Nagel's gone
That's
now.
what I'm saying. I hope so. Maybe when the whole thing finishes, I might enjoy it. But the way it's going, to me, it's sort of like this.
It's up and down.
Yeah.
But that's a TV show, though.
I will say... I don't
know. One Division, the only weakest episode
You hated every single episode of One Division every week.
No, I'm comparing the two. I'm comparing on each other. I enjoyed that more. The weakest one compared to this, which is on comparison, was that Halloween
You would
episode.
sit here and go, I hate this show. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, but
you are the most in the moment person I've ever met in my life.
I'm sorry, he's not wrong there though.
Yeah. But I'm comparing. I'd rather watch One Division.
You say that now, but at the time when they were coming out, you were saying it was a stinker.
I did, but if we compare an episode per episode, I'd rather watch One Division. I'll tell you how, because even Joanne was telling me this morning. Yesterday it was, I think it was. She was like, "How come you're not telling me to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier?" And I said, "Oh, look, I just can't get into it."
Well, this is definitely not something, like, it's not her demographic.
My girlfriend's enjoying this more than One Division.
Really?
Yeah.
My girlfriend's enjoying it less. Way less.
Right.
Yeah.
But either way, like...
I reckon your taste, Tiana's taste and my miss, I reckon they're pretty similar.
It'd probably be very similar. Yeah.
But it's... Yeah, look, I'm just not getting the feels. Brule's character and all that, and the whole Magipore, that's... I don't know, to me, look... Yeah,
really? You didn't like the Magipore stuff? That was cool.
And then all the shipping container, it's just... I don't know, it's just...
What do you mean? How do you not like that?
It just feels like...
What do you want? What do you want from it first to give me a comparison? Like, what do you want it to be?
Well, I wanted it more... Like, you touch on the sister thing, right? I thought that was really cool. Having more of...
More drama.
More heart stuff like that, and then lead up to, like, something big. Where you just got... Like, even Captain America, he was a sort of sideline for this bit, and...
Well, they're building...
Where's Captain America? Like, I don't know.
They're building up with him at the moment.
He's going to be very evil by the end of this show.
Super fucking evil.
Yeah, he's just... I don't know.
He's going to be a villain. He's going to be an outright villain by the end of this show.
Yeah. Well, I know he is, because apparently in the comics...
I told you that last week.
Yeah. And, but yeah, I don't know. To me, I know you like it and that, but it's just not connecting with me at the moment. So.
Yeah, but I'm just asking what you want from it because you're
Yeah,
saying
well,
that you
I
don't
want more
like this
heart.
stuff, but then
yeah, they touch on the sister family thing. I thought that would be maybe a better way to go.
I don't need
thing.
more of that. I know that there's stuff going on. I don't really need to see more screen
there's
time
nothing.
devoted
It's
to
been
that.
3 episodes.
I just don't.
4
But
episodes.
I get it. But I already get it.
Yeah.
Do you not get it? You go. What do you
It's
think?
like they touched on it, glossed on a bit, and it says, "Okay, it's gone."
Well, I'll say this. It's weird because I'm not saying anything because I'm kind of in between both of these in a way.
Yeah.
But I honestly am.
Yeah.
I genuinely do enjoy WandaVision more personally, but I do think it's a completely different form and show. Like WandaVision is very much so this ethereal, the magic, the it's playing more on an emotional status.
No,
like
but that's
emotional.
I'm with you. I wouldn't compare the two.
Yeah,
they're
it's not,
different.
They're very different, and although I enjoy that aspect, I think more maybe because I'm, as I said before, I said it in the Kong review that we're doing. It's coming on Friday. That the emotion stuff I get more attracted with these days, but on the same front, I thoroughly enjoy these episodes.
Yeah.
And I not as much as WandaVision, but I still don't think they're bad. And I really like the lore build with stuff. I like the Magipore stuff. I like the Prison Break. I love Daniel Bruhl's character. It looks cool. The mask looks cool.
Daniel Brühl looks like he's having a shit ton of fun too.
Bunch of fun.
He looks like he's having so much fun.
The only thing I don't really,
It just
I'm
looks
not
like
really.
Daniel Brühl to me.
The only thing,
Huh?
Yeah, it's
the only
just
thing.
I've never seen him be this like. I've never seen him be this sort of free. He's very like strict all the time.
And I also like the constant challenge between John Walker and the Falcon, Winter Soldier, and those guys. Battlestar and Captain America and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they're challenged to, we got to get the intel first. They don't even know they're doing that really with each other. Well, at least
Captain America does.
Yeah,
the
he
new
does.
Captain America does.
But that's because he's got an agenda, and the other one doesn't. So there's that type of thing. The only thing I have a problem with is actually Flag Smasher, which I'm just very not intrigued with.
No, that part to me, I do hope that part has a bigger payoff because to me that's
really
just
does.
like I'm not really invested in.
Yeah, and at the moment, she's doing exactly what this Flag Smasher does. Like, she's literally causing violence now.
Yeah.
She's killing people for no reason.
Yeah.
But all around, the episode was fine, but I can just see it's doing the same thing WandaVision did. It's building and building until it gets to something much bigger.
I think that's just something that I'm not saying. I don't think it's a perfect episode by any means, but I
like episode 2 more.
I'm doing the same thing that you're doing now, and I'm trying to, like, which I always do with TV shows, which because you're such an in-the-moment kind of guy, you struggle to do, is keep an open mind and see the forest for the trees, because it's a piece of a bigger puzzle.
Yeah, I hope it gets better.
This is why I love your reviews, though, with things, because it's so, like, it jumps. One week you're like, man, video games are the best thing ever. The next week you're like, man, fuck video games. Video games suck. I'm never playing them again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how you do it, but I'm like, it both rustles me and fascinates me.
I'm just going to say one more thing.
And I love it.
When they got the meeting with, what's her name? The chick that gets shot by Agent Carter.
Yeah.
Which, they just add another character back in anyway. Who's a spy or whatever and has a freaking phone on him?
Because he's not a spy.
Well, whatever he is. What would you
He's
take
a soldier.
that in? I don't know.
He was so out of place there, though. Like, he didn't know what he was doing.
He's pretty much a soldier.
But why would you have your phone on there?
Look, there's no doubt.
That's a massive flaw.
Yeah, sure, it's kind of silly, but he is a soldier, and, I mean, that can be a mistake.
Yeah, I don't know.
At least put it on silent. But nonetheless,
I'm nitpicking, man, but I don't know.
I would argue that really, like, if you build up to how he got to that moment in that space in time, I can totally understand how he'd have his phone on him, because he's literally thought he didn't even want to go and see Zemo. Next thing he finds out, Bucky's broken Zemo out of prison. He's freaking out because there was Zemo. He's got no idea what's going on. I can see how you would like. Yeah. How many times have you been at the simplest thing where it's like, don't have your phone on at a wedding? You do weddings. How many times do people's phones go off?
Yeah, it's true.
That's true.
Such a basic concept to say.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know.
I get it. But as you said, it's a nitpick, though. Yeah. I feel like it's a nitpick.
Yeah.
No offense, Dan, man.
And then, now they're adding the AO character in again. It's like, oh, come on, man.
Who?
At the end.
The girl from Black Panther.
Oh,
The
yeah.
guard.
Why did you not like
Well,
that?
that's going.
No,
something.
I'm just saying they're just adding so many things in here. That's what I'm just hoping. I hope it builds. Well, it's building as
It's
saying.
going. It's building something.
There's got to be something that's gonna.
There's big things happening.
Maybe this show, to be
32
honest with you,
episodes,
maybe
yeah.
this is finally the show that really separates your comic book fans from your just general movie fans, because this is what a comic book's like. Honestly, this is what they're like.
Yeah, I guess so.
They're just throwing shit in all over the place
Yeah.
all
But I
the
don't read
time.
those comics. I read the other ones like
Yeah, you read one-offs, which are more like more streamlined.
Like
This is
Infinity Wars.
generally if you would have just buy a comic book at a comic book store.
I've done that. I've done the whole.
Yeah,
the runs.
Don't they just throw shit in all over the place? And
Yeah,
everything?
you get very confused sometimes even.
Yeah.
Because
So that'll
you're constantly
frustrate
hearing
you,
new names.
I'm not arguing that, but
Yeah.
maybe this
Yeah.
is the point.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Maybe this is a tipping point for Marvel.
Yeah.
Or they add characters that you're like, what the fuck is that all the time?
But I actually think it's good that they brought that girl back in, because I always thought they recast her with the captain chick. I can't remember her name. Okoye.
Okay.
in
Oh,
Black
yeah,
Panther.
yeah.
I always
Yeah.
thought that was meant to be her, but she's another character altogether.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I think that they're bringing her in is to deal with the whole how they're going to handle Wakanda from here on out without Chadwick.
Yeah, well, they were talking about it today. What's his name? Ryan Coogler was saying that he was like, oh, well, Chadwick really wouldn't have wanted us to stop doing this stuff. He's like, he really loved this character, and he was also a very serious guy on set when it came to, like, he wanted to bring everybody along on the journey, but also was a very serious guy that, like, in between every moment that they were shooting, he was reading lines and reacting lines with his cast members because, and he would give eyes to Ryan Coogler, like, are we going to shoot this motherfucker or not?
Yeah.
Can we get rolling? We need to get this movie going. So he always felt like, the guy would have wanted them to continue.
But they're not going to recast him.
They're not going to. No, they got to do
No, but
something.
did you read that's what I'm saying. Have you read what they're planning to do?
No.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. They're planning to just expand Wakanda.
Okay, well, that means this type of thing. This is
That's what I'm
perfect.
saying.
Yes,
that's what I'm
this
saying.
is
That's why they've
perfect.
done it.
So there's still going to be a Black Panther though, or not?
I doubt it.
No, yeah, they'll probably just let him be in the Waywind.
Yeah.
Don't say anything about it, or have a moment where they maybe have like a funeral in years to come.
Something, yeah.
But yeah, I can't see him doing it again. I forgot to do the film info. There's not really much anyway. Directing all 6 episodes is Kerry Skoglund. We've mentioned before.
Yeah.
And this episode is written by Derek Kolstad and created for television by Malcolm Spellman, the head writer and showrunner. Just to get that out of the way. We get some really cool stuff here. And I don't know if it's going to be in your Digging Deep with Declan. So I'm going to just tell you a few things that we would go into, and you can tell me if it's going to be in the next area. So we've got, obviously, the Madripoor stuff.
Madripoor.
Madripoor, thank you.
You said Madripoor, like Maggi noodles.
Madripoor, yeah. Maggiepoor. Power Broker.
Yep.
The Power Broker Incorporated. And then Sharon Ventura.
No, I'll go into a Madripoor thing, but it's something.
Okay.
It's an Easter egg of the Madripoor area.
All right. Well, I will leave the
To do with the bar.
Okay.
If you go into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I won't go into that.
Yeah.
So we got the Power Broker. So you went a little bit into the Power Broker last week.
Yeah.
But just like you touched on it, I felt. We know that this character is going to, he already is coming into play as a major, villain in the film. And obviously he's the guy behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Do you guys know his backstory? Like the whole run of his stuff? Where he's
I didn't go too much into it because I was worried at how much will come out in the future episodes of this.
Right. Well, there's a lot that I can see happening because he was the reason why, obviously, what's his name? US Agent becomes US Agent.
Yeah.
He actually augments the US Agent and also Battlestar. And that's like a major part of it. But also, this is what I wanted to go into. There is a victim also in the series, and that is Sharon Ventura. Now, we got Sharon Carter, right? Mm-hmm. Which I feel like they might be, doing a bit of a twist thing here.
Yeah.
Just making it a little bit different. She's sexually abused while drugged by the Power Broker and Malice. But she comes back later as Miss Marvel.
Right.
That is Sharon Ventura. And she undergoes the same augmentation process by the power broker, but leaves before the addiction process of the whole thing.
Okay.
So has all the strength from the power broker's augmentation.
Don't know if they'll do that simply because they're doing Kamala Khan Miss Marvel in the future.
Are they?
They've announced that.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that was just something I thought could be happening.
There's a theory out there that Sharon Carter is actually the power broker in this continuity.
Jesus Christ, that's...
She's got a pretty ritzy apartment in Hightown.
Well, that makes that.
Sure.
I think that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Mm.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
We've got Dan back. We're pulling him back in with...
Well, hey, she just appears out of nowhere. So, and why is she there? Maybe.
And
Well,
she was a
she's-
bit weird when she left and she got in the car with that person as well and was like, oh,
Yeah.
we've got... things have changed or something. So there's something else going on with her for sure. Whether it's that or not, I don't know.
So if it is her, why
I
would
personally
she turn?
feel like she might be an undercover. She might still be undercover for S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever.
Right.
Possibly, yeah.
I think.
Anyway, it's a really cool...
That's a good theory, yeah.
He's got a really cool backstory, Power Broker. And he goes in later. He has this thing where the Scourge of the Underworld organization comes after him. And he takes the serum. And it morphs him and deforms him into this human who has too much muscle. And the muscle just weighs him down and he can't move his body.
Yeah, right.
And so he has to put like a mech suit on to actually move his body.
Yeah.
And then later on, just the Punisher just comes in and just, bop, bop, you know?
Go on.
There you go. Done. Kills. So there you go. There's your little bit of backstory on the Power Broker. And I thought that was going to be a cool idea. She would have been a cool actress for Miss Marvel. I would have been fine. But if they're going that direction...
Well, they've already announced Kamala Khan and cast her
Well,
as well. So
if that's the case...
they might still do something similar with it. I'm not sure. But I
have
would
two of
worry that you're getting too crazy of how many people are getting enhanced serum at that point if you do that with her as well.
I mean, there's 20 others.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but you
putting
need
a
to...
main character.
I'm sure by the end of this series, a lot of those people are going to be killed off, and they've already made it known that you can't make anymore. Do you want to keep having people have that serum? It's the same problem that I had with the Iron Man movies, where too many people started wearing Iron Man suits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you got to limit it.
As well as the whole there's that Iron Man 3 moment with the other chemical enhancement.
Yeah.
That turns them into like weird glowing
And it's just
fire
like,
breathing humans
it's
that
like-
explode.
you got to,
Too much.
The cleverest thing you do is just by limiting the people that have certain things. You
Yeah.
know, like that's. But
Unless it's Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
no. I'm all for one. But like, I'm all for one Iron Man that's all powerful, one Captain America. But once you start doing this whole thing where it's like, 50 people have
War
access
Machine.
to the
There's
stuff.
no
and-
balance.
Yeah, you need the balance and.
There was War Machine. There was another one where the Iron Patriot came into play.
I don't mind that. I didn't mind that. It was more when it was like, you know, like more so when there was a point in Marvel movies and they stopped doing it. But you think you think the original Iron Man, you think Ant-Man. Oh, there's other ones as well. I'm just struggling to bloody think of them now. But even Winter Soldier does it, but it does it in a more so clever way. But like where the antagonist was just wearing another version of the suit.
Oh yeah.
They did it a lot
Yeah,
in
they
their
did it
early
all the
days,
time.
like crazy.
Well, Whiplash was the other version of the suit.
Yeah, that's what the Iron Man movies were always doing. Yeah.
They were always doing that. Yeah.
And like
Until the third film.
Ironmonger in the first movie was just like
Exactly the same. Just a big version.
Ant-Man, the guy just had another Ant-Man suit kind of thing. And then even in the second movie, the chick is kind of just in an Ant-Man suit as well, where she phases between.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So
That was maybe my least favorite movie of.
I thought it was fun enough, but it was like,
this is the weakest. Anyway,
I think its problem was that it came out after Endgame and we wanted a bit more from it, right?
I think I guessed. Yeah, like I think I get that. That's what I would guess.
Is he saying that Ant-Man's your weakest Marvel movie?
Probably Ant-Man 2.
Captain Marvel, man.
Captain Marvel.
That
Yeah,
was
but Captain Marvel
shit.
has some points that are more enjoyable.
Oh man, that was a slog to get through that.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I saw the movies too.
I mean, I can see that. Definitely the worst, 100%, hands down, the worst of all of those movies is fucking Dark World.
Oh, Thor. Yeah.
Or the Hulk.
Or the Incredible Hulk, yeah. So, But I mean, I don't really even count.
That's when they were trying to find their. Yeah.
So I usually just count.
That's the thing; they'll
I say
find
the
their
Spurs-
groove. That's kind of what they're doing with these TV shows now, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to find their groove of what they're going to do. I think in the future, I do see your point. Like, I am trying to look at it as a big picture thing, and I'm trying to be positive with it and stuff like that. But I do think in the future they're going to have to do a better job if they're going to do weekly releases and not release it all in a dump like Netflix does. Netflix get away with having shit episodes in there.
just go to the
They
next
just
one.
go straight.
You think about it, man. Like their shows are like some of those ones are 15 episodes long, and like Making a Murder and all that stuff that were massive hits. There are episodes in there that are just nothing. You know what I mean? But like,
hit the nail on the head. I'll give you an example.
yeah,
You know, I said I was watching all the Walking Deads,
yeah,
right? The last season, because I binged them, it was good.
yeah,
Now I'm up to where they're releasing weekly. Fuck, the last two have been
bothered.
so shit.
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that's it. Could be on
So,
something.
but I feel like if they do want to keep doing these weekly releases, they're going to have to do a better job of putting something in each episode that's going to keep people's attention spans.
Yeah.
Because The Mandalorian does it perfectly, and but it oddly, when you go back and watch it all in a binge thing, that's when you get your problem, Reece, where you said, but each episode's
It's the
just
same.
a new planet, and I'm like, yeah, but that's the point of it, but that's why you have to watch The Mandalorian. I feel like anyone that waits until it all comes out and watches it in a go,
See, with the
they-
Mandalorian,
robbing
though,
themselves or
I'll say
something.
this: the Mando, though.
it's a
halves-
comfort thing.
Yeah, but it also
Mando.
halfway through that, like season 2, it stops doing that.
it does, but
And it feels like it's more of a.
but that was a criticism that you had of that show when you
originally, yeah, it
talked
does
about
feel like the Planet of the Week.
But
Or
yeah,
something
But that
like that.
works when you're having that week space between them. Do you
yeah,
know what I mean?
Mando has I always keep saying, it has heart. You feel for the character, and then he's got this sick little baby thing.
Yeah.
But he's like a father figure for
Baby
it.
Yoda.
That's what helps with that. Where
See,
these
but
other
maybe-
shows don't have that.
I just feel like you generally don't enjoy Marvel that much. To me, every time we sit down and talk about stuff like this.
No, because I loved like all the movies, like Doctor Strange, Thor's. I love Hulk. I like all that.
No, you like certain Marvel movies,
Yeah,
like all of us.
I like
though.
all of them
But I don't-
except that second Thor and Captain Marvel. They
But-
were the worst ones.
Okay, but sometimes I feel like you do a wishy-washy thing where sometimes you try to say that Marvel's shit when we talk about other things.
No,
That's what makes Dan so fun.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
That's just me going to extreme. I love Marvel.
but the point I'm trying to make
Endgame
is
made me cry, man.
that for me personally, I actually do kind of like for me in this show, I'm finding the most interesting character that I want to watch go on the journey is Bucky, because there's in the last 2 episodes he's had dialogue dumps where he said like super interesting things to me, where he said, why'd you give up that shield? Because if there's something, Steve wanted you to have that shield, and if you can't have it, then and maybe he was wrong about me,
Yeah.
And then in this
They're leading
episode,
up to him getting the shield, right?
well, he said,
They have to
he
be.
said,
He's
he
gonna
said,
get it,
he
yeah.
said, I'm going to fucking take it for myself if you don't want it, because that guy is not Captain America. Like,
Yeah.
so,
As well as like,
Yeah,
that,
like, don't
that
get me
shield
wrong.
means something to people. He said,
yeah,
And if you ever try and destroy it,
Yeah.
I'll take it from you
Yeah,
first.
like
Yeah.
my favorite character is Bucky in this.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
I reckon he's the strongest character.
Yeah, Sam has
Even
a
though-
great.
No, and that's not a knock on Sam. I just
Yeah, he
think
has a great
for me, surprisingly,
run.
Sebastian Stan has been really strong.
Yeah.
I do have to admit though, I have a soft spot for anything Daniel Brühl. So
Look,
Yeah.
Brühl, I told you, but
he's
dude,
good, but to me-
I think I loved him in
Brühl
this
is Brühl for
episode.
me, yeah.
He was amazing. He was so
Yeah.
fun,
yeah, everything.
and he's like, and just how he's like, he's like,
He's got a calculated face.
yeah.
How
all this
when
stuff.
he's like, even talking about the Marvin Gaye album, when he's
Yeah,
like, it's a
yeah.
really good analysis of what the black, the African American existence, and then Sam's just like, yeah,
out of
he's
line.
crazy, but he's exactly right.
Yeah,
Like,
he's out of line, but he's not wrong.
See, if you watch Rush, that's Brühl. That's how I see
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
but that's what I mean though. Like,
Calculated.
but he's usually always playing very serious. Like even in Civil War, he's. But in this one, he feels like his shoulders have. Like,
he's
loosened,
relaxed.
like-
He's very much so more
He's
relaxed.
free, yeah.
yeah.
This feels like his version of what if he would be in something like if he was in the first Thor movie for some reason, and then he's in Ragnarok.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you're
Like
right.
he's relaxed. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the relaxed version of it. Okay, let's get into a rundown of the episode and just go through like sections of it. Title's still Rip Dippity Rip, as usual. Marvel logo intro.
Same as before.
It's good. Global Repatriation Council
Actually,
has that little opening.
I like that. That was cool. That's a good.
advertisement.
Yeah.
It looked like a pharmaceutical ad.
Yeah, it
Like,
was.
you know, like, I quite liked it as
It
well.
reminds of like Total Recall.
Yeah.
Those ads, yeah.
We finally get to see some more of like US agent, our cap now. His anger starting to come through on that first scene.
Yeah.
Grabs a guy by the throat and like, where is it? You know, scream. You're like, first thing I thought in my head is,
He's like
I was
a
thinking of
spoiled brat.
you, Dan. I'm Declan. So, oh my God.
How's a good
you,
thing called
Declan.
Dan? It's good, eh?
Because I was hearing Dan just then, and then I'm looking at you. I was thinking of what you said last week, where you said Captain America would never be that way.
Yeah.
And first thing I thought in my head was Captain America would never scream at someone like that.
Never.
Like, never.
He would never
be the good guy.
He would
just
never
wrote-
bully someone like that for
I just wrote-
information either.
Yeah.
Look, cheese.
Cheese.
Did you think that really you found that part cheesy?
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I think he's
I
just
was on
being...
the couch looking at it going,
Do you know what he's
Really?
Seriously? I feel like you just don't want to like this show. You're just finding things. Because that's not cheesy.
Nah. I want this to... Does this lead
It's
into
just showing
anything?
his ego.
Like,
I don't
Yeah, I
think
know.
it was cheesy.
you know he's a prick. He's a spoiled
Do
brat.
you know
this
who he
guy.
reminds me of a little
Who?
bit? Like on a base level, is Harvey Dent in The Dark Knight.
Oh, yeah. I can see
Ooh, Yeah, when he
that.
does the turn.
Yeah.
Just the all-American hero on the surface, but he's got this darkness
Dark
underneath
side.
him.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a perfect analogy, eh?
I think that's what that's
Yeah.
That's that yell when he went, "Do you know who I am?" And like
Yeah.
that, I was just like that. It was just like
But
fucking
Harvey Dent did it better.
It's not about what's right. It's about what's fair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What were you going to say just then? Like, you're going to go, do you know what? And then...
Like you could never imagine
No,
this
no,
Cap.
no.
You could never imagine this Cap standing up to Thanos on his own.
Oh, no way.
Nah, he'll get crushed.
2 seconds.
We try and cut a
'Cause-
deal. You feel like he'd try and cut some
Or
sort of
even
deal.
yeah,
or
he'll
something.
he would
easily
try to
play.
jump straight into battle instead of look at the situation, let Thanos
Yeah,
run
that's
at
what
him.
he'd do.
Yeah.
He'd be the guy that's
Right,
like,
good.
I can defeat him instead
yeah.
of like,
Yeah.
how do I play this
Yeah, that's true.
with
yeah.
some type of team
Yeah.
spirit, you know?
Yeah.
I noticed the start of it was shot with heaps of handheld in that scene. Like, so much handheld.
On Cap,
Yeah.
that'd be to make you feel uneasy.
Yeah, uneasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I noticed that.
Yeah.
The breakout sequence with Zemo was fucking mint.
That was cool.
That was maybe my most enjoyable scene.
I did like
moment
that.
in
Of
the whole thing.
The whole thing.
It
Yeah.
felt,
Yeah.
felt very like Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Well, that's the only
someone-
way they could fit it into the runtime.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah,
they
it's
were
a smart
saying
way of
like
pushing through time. Yeah.
each guard is 1 to 9
Yeah.
prisoners or something, and you're like, all you need is one little break.
I'm sort of feeling though, in retrospect, would it have been smarter to cut some of the stuff out of episode 2, like some of that more sort of filler stuff,
Yeah.
and end the episode with Zemo being
Breaking
broken
out,
out, and
probably.
then leading into him being like, "We've got to go to Madripoor," and that would get all the comic book fans hyped that
That would be-
Madripoor is going to be featured because it's
Yeah.
a massive
Yeah.
destination in Marvel Comics. I'm wondering.
They're definitely making some odd
That'd be pretty tight, though.
choices.
It'd be
Yeah,
tight.
it would be. But they make
They're already
making-
tight as they is. It's just.
But like, there was a lot of filler in episode 2 that could have been like I hope that the Flag Smashers thing has a build up because you're right, Reece. It's the weakest part of the show.
Yeah, very boring.
And I actually I'm questioning the girl that plays Carly. I felt the same for her in Solo. Remember when we did the Solo
She's
podcast,
flat,
and I was
man.
just like,
Yeah.
I don't understand why there was such a big reveal when she took her
It's
helmet
a
off.
very vanilla feeling.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
what they're going for here is the gender swap, but I don't really I don't care. It's not like I don't.
But even if you knew
if
nothing,
the character's
yeah.
fine, it's fine. But if I don't care if what gender the character is.
But even if you knew nothing
Make
about the
character
Flag
interesting.
Smashers, to me the vibe I get is they just feel like bratty teenagers. Or
yeah,
something.
yeah, like they're trying to fix something or they're trying to save the world, but then they're not even
No.
making a dent.
No,
Like, you
it's
know.
like it was intriguing to me at the start in that first episode when they did that heist and everyone was running around with the masks on.
That was interesting.
That was cool, but they've become less and less interesting as it goes
because
on.
they feel weaker. They feel
yeah.
like kids.
Yeah.
You're right.
The first episode started really strong, straight from the get go, and that's. I reckon that might have been a mistake
I think it'll pick back up.
Maybe.
I do think it'll pick back up.
because my expectations. I thought, oh fuck, that was insane.
Was any of you guys?
I said that though. Remember that it was like that opening action sequence probably won't hit that high again for a while.
Yeah.
You got to remember, man. Like TV shows is different to a movie, man. Like they've got a budget for the whole series, and they have to try and limit that budget in the middle to make the end more memorable.
Yeah.
It's like they say with it's like a gig, a music gig. Because I used to play in bands and stuff when I did HSC music.
Yeah,
Because
so
you've studied
he used to be
music
a
as well.
drummer. Yeah, he didn't know. We're talking about
Yeah, I
it.
didn't know you were a drummer.
Oh yeah, I used to be.
It was good.
But they always say, you know, the audience will always remember your first song and your last song.
Yeah.
Let's make sure those are the two that. So that's the way that you sort of have to think about a TV series, right?
Yeah.
Your first episode's got to get everyone into it, and then they always dip in the middle. They just always dip in the middle. Just always happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
The bad ones are the worst ones.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not-
There's a few shows there that are just. Well, they
Well,
steam
for me,
through.
The Walking Dead, man, I gave up on that show because it was just a slog.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
has
it's
good
because there's just so
episodes
many
and- yeah.
episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it, yeah.
And they're so long.
Yeah.
But anyway, there was something else I was going to say about Carly in it.
Yeah.
The fact that we have that moment with her going to, is it Barcelona or something? That she goes to some location and then sees like her dying
Oh,
relative or
Yeah.
something. They explain nothing about that.
yeah.
I feel like
And
there was-
she sits down and maybe it was the last episode they explained it, but
No, there was a loose reference to it in this episode, wasn't there? Where there's someone else talked about how
Right.
someone close to her has died or
I
something.
thought it was
But-
a mum.
But they sit down and she sits there over the body and cries, and I'm like, what was that scene?
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
It's
did
just
have that
weird.
moment where I was like, why did we even my girlfriend turned to me and she was like, what was that about? Who
they
was
did.
that?
They did explain it. I just can't explicitly remember, but they did. Someone says that she came looking for a cure for her mum or something
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
what they do say in the episode.
Yeah.
But they say that after that occurs.
Yeah.
And you're just like, why are you showing me this?
I just thought they were showing it because they're trying to explain more of why
About
she's doing
what
what
she's
she's
Yeah, I
doing.
know,
yeah.
but it's just so, I don't know. There's something about it that's just, I get it, but it felt weird how they designed the scenes because I was confused. I was like, I don't know who this is to you, or
Yeah.
why. Anyway,
I just really-
obviously you
I d-
care for her, but I
yeah.
don't know who she is.
I just really hope they're going to use I think the flag smashers are going to be a means to an end of making John Walker the ultimate villain of this series.
Probably, yeah. I can see.
I think
that.
he's going to have a big mental snap
Yeah,
that's going to like really make the show cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how that'll play out. Like, you have him, you got the flag smashers.
Maybe he goes to nearly kill the flag smashers.
No, but
Yeah.
remember I said they made a reference to his hometown. I said in the last episode.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And
They
then-
destroy.
Are they the ones that are going to destroy his
Destroy
hometown
him
and
and his
kill his wife and make it personal for him? Perhaps.
Well, moving on anyway. Intriguing. We get them. We get that cool little moment in not the helicopter, the plane, where he says something about the pedestal heroes. What is it called? Daniel Bruhl says that heroes are put on a pedestal and they're never shown for their flaws, which connects very nicely to the US agent.
Yeah.
And also, well, the people inside of the plane.
It is interesting too because he kind of says in that moment too they did have respect for Captain America. He doesn't hate Captain America. He just goes, we put him on a pedestal and don't look at his flaws as a person, which is interesting. Like,
yeah, well, if they want to look at flaws, they should definitely look at this new Captain America.
I like how he tells his servant, the butler, whatever it is.
Oh,
if the
yeah.
food shit, whatever, just give it to them.
Yeah. Do the smell test.
That was my favourite part of the show.
Yeah, do the smell test. If it just doesn't smell good, feed it to them.
Isn't it weird though that you just find out that he's just loaded
Yeah.
after all this time? I just found that a bit weird.
I guess he's just got Hydra contacts.
And the guy's still there working for him.
no, he doesn't have. He was a baron of a country.
Yeah, Baron. Yeah.
He's
Helmut.
he's anti-Hydra.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's Sokovian. That then explains how he was able to fund his whole project for Civil War. Really, doesn't
But
it?
he knew a lot about Hydra. He said he
because-
knew all the secrets.
Yeah, because that was the whole point of
Bucky.
Civil War.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to track down that tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get them go to Madripoor. I like how they explain it because I never knew anything about this place, so this was cool for me. It was like a deep dive. We get the old pirate island. It's like an old pirate island,
Libertalia from Uncharted 4.
or even like it reminded me of like the pirate island.
Tortuga.
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 That's I think Tortuga's based off of that.
Yeah, I think so. It has
But
to
this
be.
is more cyberpunk.
Yeah.
When it went through the beginning part, I was going, oh, this looks like cyberpunk.
But I like
not as techy.
that city looks so cool.
It does look cool.
And they only showed a little bit and shipping containers.
It's like one of those new.
They're setting it up.
It's like one of those new mega cities in like Abu Dhabi or something that would like I imagine would be. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know,
You can imagine them building like a
You know
cyberpunk.
who's-
I think they're like that
Yeah.
now at night.
Pretty cool.
you know
Yeah.
who's really connected with that city? Oh, maybe it's in your thing. I'll leave it. I'll leave it. I like the heart of the snake scene where he has to drink the heart of the snake in the bar.
But I don't know.
He's
he had so many eyes on him, and you could just tell he wasn't that character.
I know, yeah.
But that was the whole... They all were aware.
The Brawl moment where he's like, attack Winter Soldier. And he just goes fucking ham on people.
How much better does Bucky fight when he's Winter Soldier?
I know, yeah. When he's given the order instead of like just doing it on his own.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool.
I like Bucky.
Yeah. I was saying, this is weird. The lighting in the room with, not the power broker, the Selby, the character that's like they go to see in the bar. It looked really beautiful. Like if you were to go back and check out that,
it's really bright.
Yeah, but it has like it's doing the color thing. It's doing the blue in one side and the orange on the other side, doing that color round. We get a John Wick moment with them getting bounties on them, and then the Sharon Carter comes through. Standard. You know what I mean? Like I didn't feel very. This is probably the part of it where I'm like, whatever. Man. Yeah, it's very odd. And feels out of place. And then maybe the second most weird scene in the whole thing is the disco moment where they go to like, there's like a full like gratuitous like disco, like, you know, like, what is it called? Like nightclub scene?
Yeah.
And then like, she goes off and talks to someone and comes back and goes, yeah, so this is where we're going. And I'm like, why do we do that? Like just have her come back from the nightclub and come back in through the door and be like, this is where it is.
Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't have that big of an issue.
I didn't. I just thought it was just filling. Felt like it was filling it too much. We'll go to the shipyards. Carter can fight. She is ripping through people. There's just using like the... what's it called? The knives and the cookeries.
Did she fight much in the other movies?
No.
I don't think she did,
She's
just like
pulls a gun
character.
every now and then.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of training from like CIA and also, what is it called? Shield.
And she's Peggy Carter's niece.
Yeah.
So
that was really cool. Donya Madani.
Yeah, who's that?
Who's that? I don't know. I'm just going to move on.
I was looking at the whole time. Who is that?
He says, I think it was the chemist says something about Donya Madani.
Oh,
The girl. What's his name?
Donya Madani's I think the woman that dies. Maybe. I don't know why Zemo killed the chemist.
Because he doesn't want the supers. He hates super soldiers. That's his whole MO.
Wants to get rid of him,
I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that guy's making more. He doesn't want it.
I'll say this. This episode, I was confused in moments. I was legitimate, but it's because of the names. I was like, couldn't remember this name that they're talking about and that name. And I literally went back with my girlfriend later
heaps
and
of characters introduced.
read the wiki moment, like the wiki breakdown to completely get like the whole thing again. So that's maybe.
Then you had to explain it to your girlfriend.
No, she was fine with it after that. She will read. I read out loud, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
cool." The finally Zemo taking like control and like shooting that fucking gas thing.
Yeah,
man, him and the mask. That's one of the cooler villains.
He was heaps fluid.
He looks like he's up there with like Winter Soldier type of villain. Like the look of him.
Yeah, he's cool.
Like, just a cool look.
Yeah.
Then we got the Flag Smasher killing the GRC guards. Who cares?
Yeah.
And Bucky finding finally the metal balls on the floor, which fuck, I don't know how he picked those out.
I was wondering if because he's got the Wakandan arm, does he have some sort of sense?
Maybe to the
vibranium.
That might be the case because I was like, that's super small.
But he's also
very observant.
Well, I mean, he was the Winter Soldier. He would have had to be attuned to all that stuff through his like programming and everything. So there's some. He's basically a cyborg, isn't he? Like,
yeah, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much the rundown of the episode. Let's get into digging deep with Declan.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm assuming this is going to be what you were about to allude to then. But so Madripoor is like hugely, hugely famous in the Marvel comics. It's basically an X-Men character.
Yeah, I read about it.
And the one character who is very famous had a whole stint in Madripoor is Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So they're kind of starting to do the soft idea that we're going to, some point in the future, have Wolverine appear in the. Imagine if they had had him in the background with the eye patch on or something.
That would have been amazing.
Isn't it weird how
Just
nearly
it.
everything links around Wolverine? I just find like he's like the
Well, he's a
main...
huge pillar of the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Leader
it's
of
basically like you. Before the movies came out, your most famous Marvel characters were Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Captain America, right? They were
pretty
the big
much.
three.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
outside of that, it was all like Iron Man
Iron
wasn't
Man
that
was-
popular.
No.
No one.
Downey Jr. made him popular.
Yeah.
I
Well,
remember
back
when
in the
they-
old days, it was Fantastic Four as well.
Fantastic Four were
Yeah.
huge.
They were
Oh,
huge,
massive,
but
yeah.
like your Wolverine and Spider-Man are probably your two biggest Marvel characters.
I guess Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, but
Even
Wolverine
when-
and Spider-Man are on that next level
Yeah.
of
Oh, when
like,
I was a kid, this is like way before you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, he was massive, man.
he was. But like, if you were just to
If the main
type
people
if-
now, yeah, it's
back
not,
in the day before the movie universe, if you were to Google Marvel, like I'd wager there
Yeah,
would have been
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man
yeah.
and Wolverine up the top.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's
Hands
like number one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
Oh yeah, for sure.
he's huge. He's the Superman of the. You know, Superman's the most recognizable DC. Even though Batman's probably more popular, Superman's like the
Yeah.
poster boy for it, kind
Yeah.
of thing. And Wolverine would be the equivalent to that, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I reckon now though, everyone would just thinking Iron Man, like young kids. Like if I asked Lucas, who's the
Oh
most-
yeah,
he
now
would just say Iron
they
Man.
definitely. He definitely.
That's what I'm saying. It's
revolutionised that
changed
character.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Iron Man was just not even like a side character. Really, he's just
Yeah.
in the shadows compared to the rest.
Yeah. And
I'll put Wolverine up there with Batman.
that's what I just said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
that's
what I
fine,
meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So really the big Easter egg that's in
Madripoor.
Madripoor to do with Wolverine is the Princess Bar,
Oh yeah, and the
Which-
brass monkey. They passed the brass monkey at one point. As
but
well.
the Princess Bar is the big one.
the big one. Yeah.
That's Patch's. Patch is the person that Wolverine pretends to be while he's living in Madripoor.
Yeah.
That's his favorite Madripoor watering hole. Yeah,
cool.
But Bucky and Zemo pass by it. They pass by the Princess Bar to visit the brass monkey.
That's so cool that it would have been awesome if he was like outside the front,
Yeah,
just like hunched over with like a
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
It's like
beer.
it's
Like,
like,
you know,
their
like-
it's like the Star Wars like cantinas.
yeah.
You just see all the these
That's-
bounties people come in.
Honestly, I think you don't like Madripoor, but I can see potential. Like I could
Oh.
see a full fucking movie in Madripoor.
No, I didn't say I didn't like
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I thought you did.
No,
Thought you were just
we
like.
said
no.
the whole
The run
Madripoor
was-
thing was stupid.
no, I just think the
I swear that's what you said earlier.
Like
Roll
why,
back the tape. No, I'm kidding.
why would you fight like in the shipping container area? Why wouldn't he be like in a back alley or something? You know, like the new.
Oh, you think it was
fluoro lights and
underused?
shit. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's just introduced. That was just the point
But-
of it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, because
Finding leads.
because they would have written themselves into a hole though. They had to get them isolated because every bounty hunter in Madripoor was
I
after
was
them.
after him. Yeah.
So if they had it done in the city, it would
They're
have
John
been
Wick.
fucking crazy. How could we would have been sitting there going, hang on a minute, everyone in the city's after him. How are they just fighting in the middle of the streets? You know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
Yeah.
yeah. Imagine if one of the bounty hunters was Patch. That'd be hectic too.
What if someone in Madripoor in the
They would
background
have got flogged.
was John Wick? Fuck yeah! No. All right,
But like, yeah, a lot of lore building in this show.
it's
Really.
opening up new doors. I think
Yeah.
it's the same as One Division though. One Division was opening new doors.
Yeah.
It was bringing new things in.
Clearly, what we're learning from these TV shows, though, is that you're not gonna get the big seminal moments we thought we were gonna
No.
get.
I'm just going to talk about that. What's that bar called?
The princess.
The princess or the brass monkey one?
The brass
one with
monkey's
the-
the one they're in.
Yeah, the one in. Okay, I've already forgotten what it looks like. This is what,
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
There has no staying power for me.
I remember
You
it
look at-
vividly.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at like
I fully can picture it in my head right now.
I see that big black dude, and I remember the snake.
It had like a circular bar.
Yeah.
All the dudes are behind him, and then
Yeah.
Bucky fought them all. It's heaps memorable.
Yeah, but if you look at it, say Mandalorian, where he sees Carl Weathers for the first time, that to me has
That's just a boost.
way more staying power than
It's just a boost.
that. I don't know. To me, it just doesn't. Just feels like any other place. I don't know.
I'm gonna
I like-
disagree with
yeah.
you, man.
I like the sets
I
way
think-
better than in Mandalorian, even though it's completely different.
I thought
It's
it's
a stay
I think
more-
the whole
more staying power.
Madripoor, when they're walking down that street,
Everything just
They
seemed,
go
it
into the-
just
I think
feels
that-
too
I
tight.
liked it.
Unless when they
But-
ran away,
but
and not
real-
getting headhunted, that was a cool wide open shot.
But in saying that,
It just felt too tight.
The
for me.
Mandalorian has the bonus that, and this is
Yeah.
coming from, I like Star Wars more than I like Marvel, so it should be on your side. But That Mandalorian has a bonus that everything is just based off the cantina in that show. They even go to the cantina.
That's what I like,
it's got the history. This is the first time we're ever seeing Madripoor.
Yeah, but don't you think it should have had
put
more
to film?
To me, it just felt really tight, man. There's always filled with like the main
But I
characters.
think that was the point. I think the location itself is supposed to be a tight location. Like it's like the cities are big, but there's like it felt like a dock. Like you know what I mean? Like a dock location more than anything else.
Well, it's just
like
it's a little island. It's a little haven for criminals.
But okay,
And you think of Tortuga even. Tortuga felt
was
like...
way better.
Yeah, but Tortuga felt like it was crammed in and
Yeah, but
tight. And that's what you feel like with this.
Nah,
it's like a
what I'm
pirate
saying,
island.
there was hardly any wide shots that I can remember.
You didn't need it.
Oh, I do. I need to see how tight it is.
There's one wide shot. Oh, the whole island.
I kind of get what you're saying though, but I think the issue that they have.
I guess you get the tight runtime.
No, but yeah, tight runtime. But also the issue that they have is for them to be able to build like interesting back characters and everything. Your interesting back characters in Marvel are characters they don't want to reveal yet.
Yeah,
right?
It sucks. Yeah.
I know that, but that's the issue. I mean, if this I'm saying now, I'm like, well, how cool would it be to see Wolverine in the background with an eye patch on? But at the same time, they fucking don't want to play that hand yet, do they?
Well, if they did that, like with how people are breaking down these shows, 2 seconds, that shit will be all over the internet.
You don't want to
be everywhere.
And they're being way more careful with, like, you think back, remember in I don't know if you're onto this when it came, because it was when sort of YouTube analysis was just starting to take off, when the first Iron Man was coming out and everything. There was this broke like the internet back in the day. But when in one of the shots in the first Iron Man movie, the prop designers jokingly made Captain America's shield and put it in the background.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and
it
people
was half
found
the
it.
shield that was broken or something.
Yeah, and he'd pulled metal off it to like put in his armor and everything, and everyone was going crazy about it. And that was we hadn't seen them come together, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, like Captain America's shield!" And that. Do you imagine what it'd be like putting Wolverine in the background? Like people going crazy about the princess, they lose their minds over that being referenced. So they do have to be. They do have an issue where they don't want to play these cards yet. But at the same time, they're limiting themselves, right? So it'll be. I don't know. It's a little corner they've sort of backed themselves into in a way. So I do know what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's really all I have to say. You're looking at me like I've got.
I'm thinking in my head. It's like there's something missing from that scene. It just doesn't. It's
missing a full fucking movie.
But
that's area.
It just hasn't got a feel.
It will be. Madripoor will be revisited.
It has to be.
I don't know if it'll be in this show, but it will be revisited at some point in the Marvel.
But it's just a part of the.
That would even be. Wouldn't that even be a cool way to introduce Wolverine to have him in Madripoor?
Yeah,
it would be cool.
Yeah,
it would be a nice area to do it. Like, really cool location.
Yeah,
but I think we're going to move on to the factoids.
Okay, right.
Declan, the factoids.
Yep. I've even just tried to scour further. There's really not many. It's pretty thin for facts. A lot of them are Easter eggs, but they're like, if I went through them, we'd just be sitting here going, yeah, I remember that from the previous movies. There's a lot of like callbacks especially when Zemo comes in. Like, the code words to activate Winter Soldier. And he then that he's actually a Baron in the comics. They've gone back to his comic origins and things like that. So I don't really want to just sit here and list off all those things.
Yeah, no, not necessary. I don't think.
But basically, the Princess Bar is like one of the big facts of the week.
Yeah,
and then this one's probably like a bit of a nicer callback. Then I actually reminded my girlfriend of it when I watched it. I don't know if you guys remembered this one or not, but when Sam sits in the back seat of Zemo's car, and he says, "You're not going to move your seat up, are you?" Bucky replies, "No." I don't know if you remember that from Civil War or not, but when Cap gets out of the car and he goes and makes out with Sharon Carter eventually, Bucky's in the back seat, and that's when him and Sam first met each other, and they're just like not loving each other. And he goes, "Can you move your seat up?" And Sam's just like, "No." So it's like a callback.
Payback.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That was like I thought that was like a cool little callback. That's pretty much the factoids for the week.
Thank you, Declan. Hey man, there's those weeks where there's no facts. There's hardly anything on it.
Well, it's all Easter eggs, and that's basically these shows are like just like scour through for the Easter eggs that you can find.
That Dr. Wilfred Nagel, is it Nagel?
Yeah. This is your fact.
Yeah. Well, it's I I'll read what I've got. So he's the mastermind behind the new super serums, which we know. It's not a new name to hardcore Marvel fans. No, really don't really.
Yeah.
And it's got a connection. The name actually appeared in 2003's Truth, Red, White, and Black, and it's revealed that Nagel was a scientist working for Project Rebirth, the same one that created Captain America. And I didn't know that.
Wow.
He picked up the work of Dr. Erskine and recreated the super soldier serum to be used on black test subjects, including Isaiah Bradley.
Oh, okay. So that's the connection with Isaiah.
And that's what I thought. And then they just bloody wiped him out, which obviously Nemo doesn't want them. Zemo. I said Nemo.
See?
Shit. Yeah. So I thought that was really interesting. And now we're probably not going to see Isaiah again or any of those guys. But anyway.
We did have a comment on the video going, so this episode really actually was about finding Nemo or something, finding Zemo, which is comical. I'm like, yeah, it's true. It was.
So yeah, I thought I'll add that little fact in there.
Excellent.
And I've just found, I have actually found two other ones which I found just kind of interesting. The tech that Bucky follows.
Yeah.
They're the Kimoyo beads, which are the ones that Black Panther's sister has on her wrist to activate everything. So that's a cool little bit of continuity there with like the tech. And then so this I always like these ones. They're like pretty heavily nerdy. But the container that they track Nagel to is number 4261.
Yeah.
I always like these facts. In the comics, there is an Earth 4261, which is a version of Earth where the Avengers died while trying to save the world from aliens.
I
always like the number references to comics and things like that.
There's so many Earths in the Marvel one. Like more than the DC one, and DC has just ridiculous.
Well, because Marvel doesn't do the same thing where DC plays into the multiple Earths and uses it as part of like a continuity story. Whereas like Marvel is just like, that was a different Earth. We're doing a different story now.
Way more confusing.
The way we're going forward with these, I'm starting to like DC's not mythos, but like the way they construct a story is way better than Marvel. Did Marvel come later or after DC?
Marvel came.
They were around the same time.
Oh yeah, they all came from a golden age. Like they were both pretty similar time.
Yeah, like post.
Well, a lot of these things came from like newspaper cartoons, or magazine cartoons that would then be turned into full blown comic books around the wartime. The wartime had a lot of.
Yeah, you are. But DC still have a ways to go before they're competing on the cinematic front of things. Yeah. I like the Snyder Cut. I thought it was better than the theatrical cut, but it's not.
You're right. It really isn't close to like Infinity and Game or anything like that. But
which is a shame. But
I would like them to get better. I think healthy. I think Kevin Feige himself admits that it's better for everyone if DC are doing well. Because it forces Marvel to, even though Marvel don't really need a competitor, they're doing well on their own. It would help more if you got someone to be competitive against, right? Like that's always the argument of like.
And plus you get what's the word? I had words today. Like you just get sick of the Marvel ones.
Yeah, it doesn't become stale.
Yeah,
you can jump between the two. And enjoy both aspects.
I think it's good to have that friendly competition there.
You know, the good thing about DC is they've always been a bit more serious, and really, honestly, the stories that they tell, and this is just opinion, but the stories that they tell are maybe a little bit more grounded a lot of the time. More like you know, personally, we can all maybe connect a bit more. But Marvel, they've done this great aspect where they've just made it super entertaining.
Well, you just love the characters.
Yeah.
By the time you get to... Someone described it... I think it was only... I can't remember.
They're not depressing.
No,
that's the thing.
Someone described it the best when they were doing like a breakdown of Infinity War. And you know the moment when Thor comes to Wakanda and you've got Bucky holding Rocket Raccoon and they're spinning around shooting. He goes, what? Like Marvel have done this thing where it's like... You've got your friends from other circles, and they're all meeting each other for the first time, and they're getting along. It's like you have seen them, but they haven't seen each other, and you're just like, oh yeah, like that's him and that's him. And I was like, that's really what Marvel have been able to create. Like, who would have thought back when Winter Soldier came out that we'd be going, holy shit, Bucky's holding Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
And loving
What
that.
the
That's
shit.
insane to think. I mean, that moment is awesome in that movie. You know what I mean? Like, so
But
that's the thing that they've been able to do.
But
so well.
I think that, you know, DC can go their own route with something like just seeing even the shorts or the trailers for something like the Batman. That's the direction that they can go. They don't have to constantly interconnect everything. The Snyderverse is great in its own retrospect. That's fine. Do that. Continue on down that path and finish it.
Yeah.
Just finish it. Then just do standalones and just pump them out as their own films.
Yeah.
That's fine. Or do it around it.
But see, I think just thinking about it from the as much as everyone is always like the studio, we do need to be realistic and remember that a lot of money goes into making these things, and they do need to make a return on it if we want to see it.
But the best returns so far, not sorry to cut in, have come from the standalones. The Joker film made the best.
Yeah, but
returns,
I'm not arguing that it did make the best returns relative to its budget.
Correct.
But if they want to get on this big pedestal and get their movies up there with Marvel, they need to be building
really
to these big. They have to build to big moments. They have to.
Yeah.
That's
But
look through cinema history, like the movies that make bank. Sometimes you get ones like, you know, like Titanic, where just word of mouth spreads, but that's an epic, right? That's a historical event.
Yeah.
We all want to see put to screen, like this amazing thing of the Titanic sinking, right? But literally, like you look through history at like all the biggest box office movies, like Return of the King, you know, like they're always these build-ups to like a culmination of characters and stories. Endgame. All these things like I love that idea of DC doing standalones, and I hope that they do that in a perfect world. But I think if DC wants to get itself in that conversation, they're just going to have to, just realistically black and white. They're probably going to have to find a way to build up to these big
like Darkseid.
The worst thing for DC though is well. My advice to DC is to be DC, not to be Marvel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It needs to be dark and gritty and what it is.
Yeah. But what they need to have though is a Kevin Feige for the DC universe.
They do,
but also just why don't they just respect the Batman Superman relationship properly and do it properly? Like, just do that properly to begin with.
Well, pretty much. That's it.
I like Ben Affleck as Batman, but I've said so many times on this podcast, they missed the mark with their relationship. The relationship isn't that Batman wants to fuck Superman up. He's trying to show Superman, hey, man, you can be stopped.
Yep.
And you can be stopped. It's not impossible to stop you. I can do it. I'm a man. Imagine what someone else can do.
We know that they have maybe one of the best relationships within any comic book ever.
But the
and
general
the most interesting.
There was actually from that. You know this TV series Young Justice? I don't know if you've watched that or not.
I haven't.
I haven't seen the third season, but I watched a clip from it where Batman he quits the Justice League because it's going to affect him being able to do what he wants to be able to do, because it's too many heads involved now.
Yeah.
And so he resigns, and then all his like loyalists resign with him. Yeah. And then they're like, I think something comes up where they're like, why didn't you get Superman involved? And he goes, because Superman can't lie. And he goes,
exactly.
And he won't be willing to do what I'm willing to do now, and he needs to just stay where he is and do his thing. And I was like, that's it. That's
they're the
thing,
moments.
Like,
it's not a manipulation. It's more understanding one another.
And he respects the fact that Superman won't lie. He's like, I don't want to drag him into this. Like he's like, this is me. This is how I'm going to do it. Like, and I was like, they missed that.
With Justice League, they got closer.
Yeah, they did.
Like they did get closer. The relationship was, we need him, and he felt bad about it, about the situation. So we've got one step up. Yeah, but they got a long way to go. You're right. They definitely have a long way to go.
See, with Snyder, he's awesome at action, and visuals. That's why he's keen to see what is it, Matt Reeves?
Yeah, he'll be more
with
this
new Batman.
I feel like he's going to be broken. Like just the Batman he's going to bring in is just going to be
he's heaps young.
That's why, just mentally fucked. like I could just see him being messed up.
It's going to be interesting. But that's something. My whole point is that let Marvel be Marvel and let DC be DC. But DC it just seems like they're picking here. They need a vision. Yeah, and that's what's going to.
They need That's the most beautiful thing about Marvel, and what they've done is they've have such a perfect road. Their road, and not only that, because that road has been built so well, they can now go directions where they're allowed to play. They've got a sandbox. Yeah. When DC doesn't have a sandbox,
they got nothing.
You can't do anything until you got the structure.
Yeah,
And they don't
it'll
have the
be
structure.
it'll be interesting to see what Marvel is going to use as their anchor going forward, because the Infinity Saga was their anchor, right? Like anytime
They'll find another one.
anytime they wanted to get a bit crazier, they justified it by it being something to do with an Infinity Stone.
Yeah.
So what comes now?
You can do Galactus? Is that in Marvel?
Yeah,
you can do stuff like
They
that.
can, but what they did so cleverly with the Infinity Saga was that I can't remember when did Thanos first get. It was in the first Avengers movie, right? That's when they decided they were going to tie it together with the Infinity Stones.
Correct, because at the end you saw him turn and smile.
Yeah.
Like after credit scene.
So it'll be interesting when we get the next
throne.
sort of like team up movie.
Also, you see Loki go to that location and talk to like that weird guy with like no arms.
Yeah.
He's like,
So it'll be interesting to see what the anchor point is going forward. That's what at least is like these shows now. Like they're a reset. They're not going to be the big, massive events that we suspected they might be.
It's an in between to lead up to the next set.
Yeah, and it's building the lore. Like we're getting a real big expansion of the lore. Like in this show in particular, because WandaVision was very contained, right? Where this one is like we've got Madripoor. Like we're going all over the world. We're meeting all these new things. Like
the serum is being cast around the place.
Yeah,
we've got several different villains. We're seeing what happened to the world, how the GRC is coming into play with the whole of the planet. You know how they're going to repopulate, structure the economy and build upon it. It's just really, it's very interesting.
It's a real just like it's almost like a just an encyclopedia. This show now.
Maybe
I think that I'm just thinking
that's
about
what you need to look at when you watch this.
No,
instead
I'm
of
thinking, okay, this because they're globe-trotting heaps. That's why I think it feels fast-paced, and I think it'd be cool if they had more episodes on the what's the GPRC? What it's called?
It's
just
GRC.
I think personally, if this next episode doesn't have sort of big dramatic action moment or like a big just story moment,
slowed down.
They've definitely they have dropped the ball a little bit with this show, in my opinion. Because in my head, I was like, I'll give them these first 3 episodes to start.
I don't think they will though. I think it's not until the last 2 they'll do something.
But then, that's not me going. That's not me going it's shit or anything like that. But like they need to look at themselves in these series that they're going to do going forward and go, we either release them all in one dump, or we need to start giving more in each episode because people are waiting a week to watch these things. And like, but like for me personally, I'm like, I'm going to need more now. Like I was willing to give them 3 in my head. I was like, I've given 3 episodes to build.
That's what I said at the start of the season.
We're at halfway point.
3.
Yeah. And if it's not like we're going like these last 3 now, that's what if they're all going to be 50 minutes each. These last 3 episodes are basically a movie.
It's
the length
funny,
of a movie, right? Like so.
Now
give me something.
We're going to see Captain America next one. Have to. Well, what's it, James
He's
Walker.
got a turn or something.
Yeah, we're going to see.
But now I'm seeing what you meant at the start of this season.
Yeah.
Where you said, well, they gave us 2 WandaVision straight off the bat.
Yeah.
So we were like, we're already a few in.
They needed to because it was such a different way of doing the show.
Yeah, but maybe this would have benefited this as well.
I think so.
In a way. Yeah. I can see that now.
I think this is. I think this is a good. They're going to need to. These are good. It's like they're going to improve.
Yeah.
This is the first time they've done this.
Being optimistic, I like it.
Well, they've always done it with other Marvel
But this show's not bad. Like this show for me, if I was, it's sitting in that. Like if I was to give it like a percentage, it's like a 75% kind of. It's still like it's still up there. You know what I mean? It's just to get to where I've seen Marvel be. That's the problem. Is we've been on Endgame, and I said this after. It's such a high. How do they do it again?
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it is crazy. The ability to have funneled all of that into that is crazy.
Yeah.
So at the moment, if I had to rate it, that's probably under a 6 for me.
Well, we'll give. I guess we're halfway. You can give your halfway rating as a 6.
Yeah.
75. We got yours.
Yeah.
I'd give it around the same. I'd 7 or 75.
Because I'm enjoying it. Like I'm enjoying watching Sam and Bucky banter, and it's like got a kind of spy feel to it.
And I'll say it each week. I say it again. I enjoy doing it each week with my partner, like watching these shows each week.
Yeah.
That's the enjoyable process.
That's for me too. Like that's exactly
something that is grounded to be like, this is what we're going to do on the weekly basis, and we want to see where this story goes.
Do you want to know an interesting way to frame it for you, Dan? That I have kind of been doing in my own head in this show is imagine if Madripoor, that whole sequence was a Bond film.
Yeah,
it would be a kind of cool Bond film.
That would be.
It'd be better in a Bond film.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is like the Marvels, like Captain America became after the Winter Soldier like Marvel's Bond.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
In a
mean?
way.
Like in a way, like it's the spy.
Yeah.
Now it is. Yeah, it's very spy driven or
Imagine Zemo as a Bond
Government
villain. You know what I
driven.
mean? Like that's.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to do with it.
They're trying to.
Yeah.
But I think I know what you're saying.
If you look
it's
at
just
it,
hard because the episodes are so short.
I think yours would be better looking at it each time you watch it as a big picture.
Yeah.
The fact that this is something very, very small sliver in a very big picture.
Yeah, I think for me, this show would be better if they dumped it. Like, and I could just go.
Yeah.
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 But that's what I'm saying. That's something that
worked well. 'cause
that's
it
something
worked
that they're going to
episodic.
have to look at going forward,
Yeah.
right? Like, and just because like there are people who like you see things in the moment and react to them in the moment, and you don't want to look at the bigger picture. You're like, no, but right now what they're giving me is not what I want from this show.
Yeah.
Which is and there's a lot of people that do that. I only do that now because I used to be like that, but now I try to think as like looking at like a jigsaw puzzle and like you're putting pieces in kind of thing. But I remember when Game of Thrones was coming out, people used to get shits all the time.
I used to get shits.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Jane's smashing through it. Yeah. I think it's season 6 now.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that was quick.
She's loving it.
It's easy to binge that show.
Man,
it's very
she's
easy to
brushing her
binge.
teeth and watching it.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
What did she think of Red Wedding? She
Yeah,
walk out of
she's
it like
so- she was like, yeah, oh my god, or like, what's she up to? Oh, and she goes, oh, how good was the Battle of the Bastards?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
so
fantastic.
it's what we were going through. So
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's good to see because she watches those like Vampire Diaries and stuff. This is like way off from what she'd normally watch.
Well, I want to do it just to solidify. I know we've done it kind of already, but I need that as like a section
conclusion?
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the final thoughts, super simply,
Okay.
Dan Man. Super simple.
Three words or less, Nacho.
I've pretty much said what I need
I
to say.
know, but just like make it like so I got a conclusion here for the show.
Look, if look, I guess if you're watching this, you sort of know where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
So you can either agree with me or disagree with me. But well, that's as simple as I can say it because it's just I want to know what's.
But what do you think?
Look,
How
to
do
me,
you
this-
feel about the show?
Yeah, to me, I just think it feels really rushed. There's a lot of stuff getting thrown at you, all new character. Like, there's adding more and more things into this in such a short time frame. That's why I'm saying maybe it's better having this as like 3 episodes, hour each, bang, bang, bang. And I guess I'll feel more satisfied.
They probably could have done a Sherlock type of run with this. Like, you know what I mean? Like an hour and a half.
But it's always going to be what if
sections,
or could have. But I don't know. I'm just hoping it pays out because the time I'm investing in it, I could be doing something else.
Fair enough.
That's the way I feel personally. So
That's perfect.
yeah. I'd rather just see Bucky and Sam just by themselves. But
In the psychology office for 3 episodes.
yeah,
Talking it out.
That's where they're strong. But
You like the drama of it
Look,
a
I
lot.
do see out of the show, Bucky is progressing further than Sam.
I think they're personally.
what I
I'll
see.
go into what
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Declan.
Do you want to go first?
Okay, I'll go. Well, I think that both of the characters are progressing relatively well. Like they're seeing progression at the same
I don't
time.
know.
That's just me.
I see Sam just stubborn. But anyway.
He's stubborn, but I think he's looking at what he's saying and being like, oh, what's his name? Bucky keeps pushing those buttons to be like, maybe I am wrong or maybe I am wrong. Anyway, I'm really enjoying the show. I just am happy we're in a world where there's more Marvel and they're going further with it.
Yeah.
So the more we get, as I said, it's a sandbox now and they can play. Go play.
Yeah.
And I'll join you
fair
along
enough.
either way.
Yeah.
And I'll be there, sitting there, watching it with whoever's going to enjoy it with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know what else I'd be watching rather than the 50 than this show. Like you said, you could be doing something else with your time. For me, I'm sitting down on either a Friday, Saturday, or a Sunday night whenever we've got time to do it with my girlfriend and watching it. And it's like just a night, like you're eating dinner or before you go to bed, you're watching this. Like it's just breezy. That's the way I see it. Like
We still put on some of the other movies here and there.
yeah.
Me and my girlfriend and just throw them on and be like, that was fun, wasn't it? And
Yeah. It's
that's kind of the background.
yeah,
films.
it's just breezy. Like I think there is issues because some people aren't enjoying it. They're going to have to evaluate what these shows are going to be in the future, because they have been marketed like crazy, and they're not the big tentpole things that maybe we were led to believe they were going to be. So what they do with that in the future is interesting for me. But like you said, it's like nice to get more Marvel, but it does. It like when I know what you're saying, and everything that you're saying is like legit. Like I'm not trying to say you're wrong or anything like that. I just like to challenge you to actually get you to vocalize what you're thinking.
I'm all good. I don't want him to say, "Here's a sandbox play," but I don't want it to be shit. I want it to be good content.
Well, this is also the thing. We are also completely invested. There are people out there, and I think you're invested as well, but maybe not as much as myself, because I feel like I'm just like, I don't really mind what we're getting. I want it to be good.
Yeah.
But I'm happy just to see it exist.
Well, I'll give you. There's guys at my work that really liked WandaVision. I told them to watch it, because they always ask me about Marvel because they know I like movies, and I said, "Oh, you should watch. Give WandaVision a go." I said, "It'll be weird for the first 3 episodes, but then you'll start to." And they've came back, "Oh, I really liked it." And then I said, "Oh, Falcon and the Winter Soldier's coming out," and they watched the first episode. And they were like, "Yeah, that was mad." And then when they watched the second one, I reckon about 3 people went, "Yeah, it's good, but I'm just going to wait till they all come out so I can watch it in one go." Because I think
they're not intrigued.
Like you, they're intrigued, but they don't want to have to wait week to week because they're not being given enough.
Yeah. Well, there's stuff being thrown at you in this
but it's not enough. I know what you mean, but it's not enough.
Yeah. I just think the formula hasn't been tweaked.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what a good analogy for it is? And we'll try and end on this.
Yeah.
If it's good.
Yeah.
So you know when you buy a packet of chips and it looks really full.
Oh yeah.
Then you open it, it's only half full.
That's pretty
how
perfect
you feel?
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like that. Yeah, and I just find it really frustrating.
Yeah.
It's and I totally get what you guys are getting at, but it's just It's good though. So you got to have one of me in it.
Well, no, because we can also just see that. We can see that people around us will be thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
They'll be thinking that.
Yeah.
I will say one last thing. I'm really looking forward to Loki now, because I think it's going to go do weird things.
Also,
away from that. It's going to go
another
back to
thing
that
I'm really
magic.
looking forward to. A new trailer came out, Black Widow. That new
it
trailer
looks
was
way
sick.
better.
It was sick, man.
I haven't seen it. But with the Loki thing, we were saying off camera before, he's such a known character, and he's got a lot of interest, and I do hope that it doesn't lead to like this sort of show.
It'll just have fun with it, I think, with Loki. It looks like more of a fun thing than a...
it might be a Planet of the Week kind of thing, looking at it.
Yeah.
So, see how we go.
Well, I think we've just finished our review of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 3. You've been listening to Neon Radio Podcast. I'm Reece.
I'm Dan.
I'm Declan. Follow that vibranium.
And you have a good week.
Respect.